Morning, guys. This is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Let's talk about something.
Um, whew. So, guys, there's been a lot of talk about the conversation between Rod and Fancy and my opinions on that. And my opinion is my opinion. It's going to be my opinion on it. I don't think that that was handled well. I think that I would love, Rod, I would love to interview you. It would not be live. I would not do a live interview with you. It would be more or less a conversation. I would show you the video before I put it out. And this is nothing that is special to Rod. This is something that I've done with other people that I've interviewed. Because I think in a conversation, a lot more comes out. But I also think that because society is so unforgiving in moments when people lose their temper, that and say something that maybe they didn't mean, I think that when that is captured now, it is something that lives on forever. And I think that that's a lot. I think that that's a lot. I don't come from that generation. We were allowed to make mistakes and they were forgotten about. They weren't memorialized and held over our heads forever, which is what I think is going on in today's day and age. So I would love to interview Rod and more or less have a conversation with him. I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't challenge him to the point that he at all felt abused. If he told me that he didn't know something, I wouldn't question that. You know, his truth would be for everybody to see. You know what I'm saying? It's not up to me. I'm not a counselor like that. I was never a counselor like that. You know, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a sociologist. I'm none of that. I would also like to get to know his side of the story when it comes to Fancy and that whole what happened. You know, his side. Doesn't mean it's true, just means it's his side. And for us to determine that. Okay? So, Rod, I would love to have a conversation with you. Again, it wouldn't be live. It would be very friendly because I just have no interest in beating you up. You know, but I have to say this in all fairness. I do think Gypsy unalived Dee Dee, and I don't believe that she was physically abused at all. Okay? So that's what I'm going to say there, but I'm not going to challenge you about that. That's my belief. That's my theory. I understand as her dad that you want to believe your daughter, and I am never going to challenge what you believe in your daughter. You know? I think that you are well aware of what everybody is saying, and that's not what... I just want to know your perspective on everything, and you don't have to answer everything. You know, again, it would be a video that I would send back to you. You tell me what to cut, what not to cut, and I would go with it. It would strictly be your side. It's a conversation. It would be a conversation. I think that a lot of what Fancy said about this micro-delusion, 100% true. I think the way she said it was horrible. I think that she should have let Rod speak. I think everybody should have let Rod speak. You asked him questions and then you did not let this man answer a question. You know, you expected him to know things on the spot, and he never, ever, ever struck me as that type of guy. I'm not sure that the guy lives in present time, and I don't mean that as a bad thing. I know boat captains. They exist in my family. I know who they are as far as how laxed they can be and what's important to them and what's not important to them. And I don't mean that in any kind of disrespect. Everybody has a priority list in life. I think Rod's job was to provide for his family, and his wife did everything else, and I don't think that's an uncommon thing. So I think that there are things that Rod knows, And then I definitely think that there are things Rod does not know. But it's not up to me to show him that. It's not up to anybody to show him that, except perhaps a therapist, and he would have to be willing. Or maybe a best friend. And it's strictly an opinion. So I would love to comment. And so I would love to have a conversation with Rod. And just Rod. I don't want to speak to Gypsy. I don't want to speak to Christy. Just Rod. My email is toddyonesskip@gmail.com. If anybody could reach out and share this with him, that'd be great. He obviously doesn't have to do it, but listen, I'm fair. I feel like I'm a fair person. I'm certainly approachable. I give my word, and it means something to me. So, and yes, I would ask him what happened between, or his perspective of what happened between Fancy and him, as far as, why they didn't use her anymore. We know Fancy's side. I'd like to hear Rod's side on that. So, guys, I think sometimes we could overstep who we are. And I really feel like that happened here. I feel like Rod has a wealth of information from his perspective. And if he tells me the truth, great. If he doesn't tell me the truth, that's on him. I'm not going to beat something out of somebody. You know what I'm saying? But I think that the guy should be able to speak and be able to have a few seconds at least to collect his thoughts when a question is asked of him. I mean, I think Fancy had all these questions lined up, for a long time in her mind. And Rod didn't have, he was nowhere prepared to answer. And, I think Fancy thinks of that as a victory. I don't look at that as a victory. It was an attack, in my opinion. And I don't think that was fair. This guy didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. And you yourself are saying he doesn't do anything because he's always out at sea and da. But you felt it was your job. I don't know who made it your job, Fancy, to school this man about his family. That's where I think things were overstepped. When he told you things that he didn't know, you should have left it alone. I just don't understand. And I don't understand why that went on like that. So, anyway. Guys, I just wanted to put that out there, and I wanted to put an invitation out there to Rod Blanchard. Listen, I know that you're out at sea. I get it, man. Trust me, I get it. I've lived on boats. I love it. Absolutely love it. I took care of boats. I lived on boats. I mean, it was my dad's boat, but my dad was a hard ass at certain times. And I did. I lived on his boat. I took care of his boat. His boat went to the Bahamas a lot. So, I mean, I understand boat captains. Trust me, I understand boat captains. There's 2 captains in my family. So, I get it. And I know how they are. And they're exactly the same as far as, they provide. That would be awesome. That would be great. That'd be great. All right, guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip, and thank you, guys. I appreciate you.